time for some more weaving. I'm going to be working on the middle section of my cushion cover today, which is going to be a variation of the diamond twill. So we've got chevron twill at the bottom here, then we've got overshot, crowbar, and then diamond twill. So the section I'm going to do now, I'd originally planned to do all in the background colour, but it's going to be like 3.5, 4 inches, something like that, in height. So I've actually decided to add a bit of colour in. So to give you a bit of an idea as to what I'm aiming for. So this is the middle of the loom. And we're going to be working in twill, going in opposite directions either side of the middle of the loom, working our way up until I'm at half the height that I'm looking for, and then we'll reverse those angles to get the peak of the diamond in. So every few pairs of warps that are getting gone over, I'll put in some of the blues to bring that colour through, just to break up that cream a bit as I'm working my way up the loom. I'm not going to be following the draft too closely because I want to make sure that I'm hitting the right points on the weaving rather than X number of rows on the warp, on X number of picks going up. So there's going to be a bit of time lapse for this. So just a refresher before I dive into that. The structure of a twill weave is 2 over 2 under, 2 over 2 under for each pick. You just offset it so that you offset it by 1 warp each time so that you get this diagonal line coming up the weaving. It's how denim is woven. So if you look at your jeans, you'll see the diagonal lines in the fabric. That's twill. So I'll get the camera switched around, get some time lapses going so you can see what I'm doing. I am going to be measuring as I go using my weaving comb, which I've buried under the paper here. This is my weaving comb. So when I measured the width of the weaving at its narrowest point, it was 2 and a tail wide. So I'm aiming for 2 and a tail high to get a square weaving. So we are now at the shoulders of the comb. So we've got a couple of inches to the end there. So it's actually probably going to be near 5 inches by the time I finish this section. So I'm looking for a tail and a half to get to the midpoint of the weaving, and then I'll start reversing in the opposite direction until we've got an even diamond. So that's what I'm going to be up to. So let's get on with it. Okay, so I've marked my central 2 warps with this loose wire knot. This is going to come out in a bit. It's just to indicate where that central point is. I have marked it on the loom as well, but because I'm working at this point, I want to hit a bit more sort of front and centre. So I know now that I need to do 2 over at this end to start my twill off. I'm going to start off, because I'm going to be working in multiple colours, I do 1 pick in green, 1 pick in each blue, to work my way across, but to make sure that I've got things lined up properly, I'm going to start off just working in the first section and putting all 3 colours in so that I can establish the pattern. Once the pattern is established, it'll be fairly intuitive. Okay, so let's get that time lapse on. Okay, so we're halfway through now, so I've measured using my weaving comb to get my distance and my height for the halfway point. You see I've got the diamond coming out either side, so it's pointing outwards at the moment. So I now need to turn it and bring it inwards. So I'm going to be shifting my twill one way towards, one warp towards the centre, instead of one warp away from the centre, which is what I've been doing on this side. In terms of measuring it, I also want to make sure that the pattern comes through symmetrically. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on this central spine, the points of the diamonds, and watching for where these ones close up at the top, and that's where I'll be stopping. So that should then give me up to there, ready to put on the repeat of the lower portion of the pattern. So a bit more time lapse for you maybe, or maybe I'll just jump to it, we'll see. It is taking a bit longer to do than anticipated, but weaving what often does, which is why this video has not come up on Saturday like it normally does. Because it's Saturday now, I'm still filming. So yeah, so we'll get on with that, and we'll take a look at it once the diamond is complete. Okay, so we're still a couple of inches away from finishing this section, but I want to get this edited and up for you tomorrow, so that's Sunday. So I'm going to pause at this point, so I think you can see where we're going. You can also see how, where I'm using a gradient yarn, the colours are starting to shift as we go up, which is fine. So yeah, so I've got this diamond and this diamond up until this cream one to complete, and then that section is done. The next step is to repeat the other sections that I've already shown you in reverse at the top, and then I'm going to need to weave on the other side of the warp before I can take this off the warp. So I'm going to do that before I come back with another weaving video. So it's going to be a few weeks at least before I'm ready to show you getting this off the loom and turning it into the cushion cover. But in the meantime, there will be the usual weekly videos coming up, and there is one popping up on screen somewhere here that you may be interested in for now. But until then, happy crafting, and bye-bye for now.